Hi, everybody. I am your admin Riz, and this is going to be hopefully a brief roleplay review for the log, the Syhiververse log, Imperial Pesticide. Hi there. So we are back with another roleplay review, and this one is, like I said, Syhiververse Imperial Pesticide. And this is alternate dimension Hypo, alternate dimension Indon, and Syhiver makes a little bit of a showing to do some foreshadowing. What it is, well, see the title. And where is it at? It's on Talladega 4. And the why is, oh god, why it's so cold. So this is my first review of a Syhiververse log, and I hate to say it, but I really feel like this log may be the one that gets me to actually pay attention to the Syhiververse. And I want to start off by saying I don't have anything personally against the Syhiververse. I think it's a really cool idea. There's one aspect of it that I really, really don't like, but I don't think that that's actually going to happen anymore. So I may be more interested in it, but it is really cool to see people playing alternate versions of themselves. And for this being my first one, I'm glad it was Hypo and Indon, two really, really good role players, two people who were very prolific at writing their characters. And it was a good read. Now, the log is basically starting off that Indon is dead, or at least his original copy, his original form is dead. And the Indon that we are seeing is a bio-android copy that is basically trying to go through Talladega and kill enough people to then take down Emperor Hypo. And it's really cool to see Indon playing a bio-android. He plays him like a Cell-like character. He's very much like, first form Cell, going through and killing pretty much anything he can get his hands on. But it's cool to see Indon kind of break his shell, because I don't think that Indon has any other roleplay alt on the mud. So usually when he RPs, it's always this scientist or some kind of version of Indon, whether it be more of like his techie persona or things like that. But we've never seen him like straight up play a different character. And dude's got chops to do it, so it was cool to see. And yeah, I mean, this bio-android Indon is just kind of going around from place to place and just, like Cell, draining people down to their clothes. And Emperor Hypo has graced Indon with his personal presence. And he even kind of makes it very well known that, like, I don't do these things. You should feel honored that I'm dirtying my hands and getting soil under my fingernails to even consider you. But it's a Syhiververse log, and it's not very long. I think that Hypo really loves playing this version of himself. I think that Seru really loves playing this version of Hypo. I think Seru wants this to be Ymir. I really do. So that it like, this is the antithesis of Hypo, right? This is the exact opposite. This is the cruel and violent and destructive empire that needs to be stopped. But I really feel like Seru is just loving this and eating it up, and he's really kind of in his element playing this level of bad guy. But the log itself is, Indon's just eating life, and eventually he comes to this group of people, and he's trying not to feed because he senses danger, but then he goes to feed on this next victim, and this next victim actually ends up being Emperor Hypo, and they get into this conflict. And I don't really know if it's said in other Syhiververse logs why this Indon wants to take down Hypo, but they really are at odds with one another, right? This gives me alternate universe, like alternate Snyderverse Joker versus Superman vibes, right? Like there was something that was so bad that this other villain teamed up with the heroes to try to take down this bigger villain, and Indon really feels like, long-haired, creepy-faced Joker, and Hypo really feels like unstoppable Superman. And they get into this skirmish. Indon ends up losing, but it's kind of alluded to that there are other copies of Indon elsewhere throughout this universe. So while this body was destroyed, there's probably several others that are going to be out there. Probably some that are like probably pure android, not just bio android. And it's like Indon has a plan for a plan for a plan. And if plan Z fails, well, he's got plan AA5. He has everything thought down to the last minuscule detail. Where if there's 14,600,001 chances for them to win, he has a scenario for every single one of them. And throughout here, Syhiver is well, I will say Ghost is doing something, and I kind of don't know if Ghost is like if she's like reading the entire Syhiververse. But I don't want to talk about this because it is kind of spoilerish. But I had a talk with Ike that may change what's happening with the story in Syhiververse. From reading this, I don't think that like the way the Syhiververse ends needs to change, but I think the immediate story is going in a direction that's kind of, I'm going to say it's getting away from the DM, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. And I can say that because I'm not the DM trying to keep everything on the rails. I am chaos role player. I love it when things are just like, I had a plan and then the role play happened and now the plan is turned in on its head and we're going somewhere else with it. And I think that's okay. I really think that's okay for this here. I hope that it continues that way. Me personally, again, I'm not involved in this. I may do some it might be fun to role play a different type of character that I have, but yeah, I really think that the Syhiververse role plays should breathe on their own, and we shouldn't force them to grow a certain way. But again, my personal opinion, I'm not running it, so. Yeah, I mean, back to the log. This Indon does not win. he loses, and Hypo destroys Talladega just to make sure. Very very Frieza like, very Cooler like. I may have destroyed Indon, and he can't fight back. But just to be sure, I'm gonna destroy this entire planet, and he does so. He does so. So easily, and it's effortless almost. To say that this version of Hypo is tier 7 would be an understatement. I think he's beyond tier 7. But I think everybody in the Syhiververse should be beyond what we in our regular universe know. So, yeah, I mean, you guys got top marks. Again, it's not a very long log. It's not going to be a very long review, hopefully under 10 minutes. I will have my eye on the Syhiververse a little bit more now because this was a good read. Again, it was just interesting to see different versions of characters that we know. Yeah, so as always, my name is Riz. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next time.